What's up, Oilers? This is Kermit the Frog reporting to you live and introducing...
I'm Andrew.
I'm Diego.
I'm Katie.
Yay!
And we're here with...
Mr. Daciuk, Mr. D.
Welcome.
Okay,
It's not easy being green.
All right. So,
So we do have a history with Mr. Daciuk.
yeah.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah, okay,
Oh,
so
okay, Kermit.
let's go around the table
It
and
makes me
share our
very
Mr.
proud
Daciuk.
to be here because knowing all of you and seeing that you're doing this is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's introduce our stories here.
Okay. I had him for 0 period. Yeah, I'd always see him in the mornings, but I never had him for a class.
Geometry support.
Yep. I had Mr. Vogel as the main teacher.
Yeah, same thing here. The exact same story. I also had him during 5th period too, so I had him as
0
a teacher.
period.
For 1 semester, though, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't have you as a teacher. I had Mr. Shaw, but I met you through my sister.
Oh, you have
she was
sister?
your student. Yeah.
Your sister her picture's still in my classroom. You know?
Oh, really?
Because she won a $40,000 scholarship.
Oh, dang.
What?
Yeah.
Why don't you ever mention this?
From the
What did she
aerospace
go
company.
to?
It was the first one they gave out, and they gave her some
No
internships
way.
as well.
Wow.
How's she doing now?
Good.
Good.
That's one of the things that I actually would like to talk about if I had anything to talk about.
Okay,
is
talk
just
about it.
how Montebello High School students don't realize how much is out there for them and how much they can achieve.
Dude, I knew this girl that got a full scholarship to NYU. Wait, NYU, right?
Yeah.
New York City University, yeah.
Oh, wow.
From Montebello.
Full, yeah. I was like,
So I always
I was
brag
jealous.
in my class about my friends who came to Montebello High School because I came to Montebello High School. And one of them, she was the valedictorian. She ended up being a cancer researcher. And she passed away from cancer, but she found something in the enzymes in breast cancer that helped them further the research of breast cancer like, worldwide. And the salutatorian that year, he helped make the Apple Watch. So he helped make the iPhones up until the iPhone 6. And then he's from Montebello High School. He helped create the Apple iWatch. He's an electrical engineer. And he also goes to the factories in China to make sure they're making the stuff right. So like all these millions and millions of people have a watch that a Montebello High School student helped to make. And so there's all these stories that of students accomplishing things. Even some of my friends, one's a marine biologist, and others an editor for Disney. And so we all have, like, I wish we could share more of the stories of all the great accomplishments of Montebello High School. We can do way more than we realize, and there's so much out there waiting for you guys if you work hard. And I don't know, I really think get involved, make connections.
Yeah. No, yeah, there's a lot of great people that have come from this school.
like that one guy from that one, what's it called? Not ethnic studies movie, but health and safety movie.
Stand and Deliver?
Stanley, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember my teacher would always hammer in that the fact that that actor was from Montebello.
Yeah.
Well,
It really annoyed me.
my friend who
What?
was the cancer researcher, they had their Hall of Fame thing. And that
There's a
year-
Hall of Fame.
There's a Montebello High School Hall of Fame for former graduates.
Uh-huh.
And so I remember at the ceremony, they honored a 1958, class of 1958. He was one of the producers on Star Wars.
No way.
Yeah.
What? What's his
No
name?
way.
Give him a shout out.
I don't know his name.
Oh.
Maybe if you could look up the Montebello High School Hall of Fame. So
What the heck?
I don't know exactly what type of producer he was, but he helped work with Star Wars.
You should give these people a shout out, like the
But
cancer.
in A1, if you go in, there's a Hall of Fame wall with people's pictures.
I saw that. I didn't know what I was reading, but I saw it. Oh my
Wow.
goodness. I didn't know that.
I think I don't know how hard it would be, but it'd be great to have interviews of people. If you start interviewing every now and then people who
email.
graduated from Montebello High School and just highlight all the
Yeah,
successes.
he's stealing our ideas right now.
Okay, yeah, so let's start going into our categories.
Oh, yeah.
So we have different categories on the show, and our first category is going to be personal questions. So our first one here is starting off easy. How did you meet Mr. Frazier? And who is Mr. Frazier for people?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I don't know who
explain.
that guy is.
Mr. Frazier was a teacher here who graduated, who retired a couple years ago, and he taught mainly math and Avid. What I I started teaching as an English teacher first, and I was in the D building.
How was that?
How was that? What?
Teaching in English.
How was it?
Yeah.
If I'm honest, it wasn't what I expected. It wasn't bad, but
What do you mean?
the reason I got into being an English major was I liked reading literature and analyzing it. So you kind of like analyze the characters like you're a therapist, and you analyze psychologically the characters and stuff. And when you're in high school, you don't do that very often enough. I mean, well, to be fair, I was teaching freshman English, so you didn't really do that very much. Maybe in some of the higher level classes, you'll get way more into depth with writing and discussing about, the characters and the plot and all of that. But it's a lot of work. You have to give credit to your English teachers who especially do a lot of writing. They're taking bags home every weekend to grade your essays and to try to make you better writers. But it wasn't easy. But going back, Mr. Fraser was in D7. I was in D8. So I was next to him. We got to know each other a little bit. But later I moved buildings to the B building. And then for a while I had been put in charge of AVID. And so I brought him on the AVID team to teach freshmen for AVID.
Oh, really?
So that's how we started to work more closely together. And then when they brought up the new building, they put him, a couple doors down, and they put a lot of the AVID teachers together. So I was able to meet him. So for those who don't know Mr. Fraser, he was British, but his accent was very old, like faded, but not completely faded out. So he didn't speak really perfect British accent, but he didn't speak with an American accent either. So he said he'd go to England, he sounded funny, but he sounded funny to us here too. So he would say things like banana. Instead of saying frustrated, he goes, I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
So he had a little emphasis in the way that he pronounced words a little bit differently. So his jokes were way better.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Because that
His
accent,
jokes.
the accent that he had, it just made everything funnier.
Do you have a favorite joke that he made?
There's a lot of them, but one of the ones he would always say and people wouldn't get was, why did the bicycle fall over?
Oh my god.
It was too tired.
Yeah.
Too
Boo.
tired. Where's the boo button? But he would say it
We're getting
with
to
an
that.
accent.
We're getting to that.
Why did the bicycle fall over? Because it was too tired. And then people would laugh a little bit more. Yeah. So my friend, who's a marine biologist who graduated from here, he was Mr. Fraser's TA. So I didn't have Mr. Fraser when I was a student here. He was already teaching when I was here. And he once told me, oh yeah, this guy, Mr. Fraser, he would tell jokes and no one would get him but me, but the TA. And so he said he was the only one laughing. That's Mr. Fraser.
Mr. Daciuk, wait, could you move your mic closer to you? I think so.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, wait, now try it.
Word.
No, just
that
keep on
better?
talking because you go like
Banana.
this and then,
Banana.
like that.
Oh, see, that's something I'll have to not do. I'll try not to move.
No, you
can
can't.
just
Just
move
move
your
the mic. Just move the mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be
You
aware
could
of it.
unplug it and like hold it in your hand if you want.
Okay, like how I'm doing it.
Right.
Alright.
Just cut that part out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
So
So that's how I met Mr. Fraser. He was a neighbor, and then he was part of AVID.
what colleges did you go to? I mean, college. Yeah. Did you not go to? Or?
I did.
Oh.
Go to- the secret is I never went to college, and I'm teaching here. I went to our ASB director was nice enough to introduce me to a school called Point Loma. He's no longer teaching. He retired a long time ago. So I went to Point Loma Nazarene College at the time. Now it's called Point Loma Nazarene University.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in San Diego. It was originally in Pasadena, actually. And it's right on the beach. It's super, super beautiful. And he was nice enough to even drive me there and a couple other students to take a look at the preview day. So I fell in love with the school. While I was at Point Loma in the summers, I took a class at Rio Hondo. Rio Hondo's a good school. I've taken classes at ELAC as well. So you're already yawning. Some of the
Hey.
some of the
it's
little
not
general
all day for me.
the general
I'm not
ed-
saying it's boring, but I was thinking like, do you only have a community college education?
No, I went to Point Loma. So Point Loma Nazarene is a 4-year college. It's,
Yeah.
it's a private school.
I don't know
It's
that.
it's very small. There's only 2,500 people. We did cool
that's
stuff. Got to
pretty
know the
cool.
professors. One professor took us sailing on a sailboat. Others we went hiking or we went and had
heck?
dinner with their families. And one professor I helped him move So you just like really got to know them and have a community.
It's a community. Yeah, that's really sweet.
Small schools have good advantages. Big
What
schools
what
have
years
good.
were you there?
96 to 2000.
Oh.
So what were you doing in 2001?
So in
Run
2001,
us
I
a
started the
random day.
teaching credential program, and then halfway through, I realized I can come back here and do it in Pasadena. So I finished here, and I started student teaching. Well, actually, first I student taught 8th graders in San Diego, and then I started student teaching here the second semester. And it was actually my old teacher that I student taught for. And not to be a bummer, but she was dying of cancer at the time. So it was kind of like perfect timing that I was able to come and take over half of her classes and help teach her.
I think that's a blessing, if anything.
It was nice to be able to be there and help her.
Did you had a job when you were in college?
Yeah, so I was a grader. I got rejected by In-N-Out.
Oh,
I lived right next to
Hey,
In-N-Out,
do
and
that.
I wanted the free meal you get when you work. You get one free meal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And they didn't hire me.
dang.
Why? What do you think it was?
They said they had too many workers already. But then why did they interview me, right?
what was the interview
They
like?
didn't want to say no to my face, I think.
Who interviewed you?
I don't know. One of the workers just takes me outside, asks me some questions. They didn't like the way I looked.
Oh.
Which In and Out?
It was in San Diego. It was in Point Loma.
We're like, boycott?
But I-
No.
It was too good to boycott. So then I was a grader. So I was a student grader.
Yeah.
I would grade papers. They pay you like 4 hours a week, but they give you 10 hours of work. So it wasn't pleasant.
Oh.
But you got good recommendations from the professor.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Then that's it evens out just
Kinda
a
like
little,
an
just a
internship
little
in a way.
bit, Yeah.
Did you had a job during high
I
school?
was going to say, yeah, I did work in high school. One of the things I tell my students is to get involved because you never know who you're going to meet or what you're going to do. And one day the college counselor came and said, hey, do you want to do a speech contest? I was like, not really. And I says, okay. He's like, but no matter what you win, it's only 3 people and there's 3 prizes. I says, okay.
A win-win.
Yeah,
No,
so
what the-
you'll win like a few $100s no matter what. And I says, okay, when is it? Today. I was like, okay. So I decided to do it. I read some poem. I got second place. And when they introduced me, they said, do you want me to say anything about you? And I said, tell them I need a job. And I was joking, half serious, half joking. And they said that. So someone who owned an insurance agency came up to me afterwards.
Hello?
And gave me a job. Paid me like double minimum wage at the time.
Damn.
And yeah, no, you never know. Being involved and being somewhere might meet the right people. And so I worked as an insurance agent. And then when I first graduated, I painted houses. I painted all these apartments. And then I went to college. And during the vacations, I'd come back and work at a school supply store.
School supply.
Mhm,
How was your
Pasadena.
time in MHS since we're talking about it?
My time in MHS has been great. So if I'm honest, I didn't like coming here as a student.
Whoa.
Okay.
and-
What did you need to change when you were there? What do you need to change? Because I heard something about a bathroom.
Oh,
Yeah.
So when I was a
Oh, yeah.
student here, they didn't have doors in the bathroom.
I told you.
didn't believe it. I
And
don't
it was
believe.
disgusting.
I still don't.
The
believe
boys
it.
didn't, but the girls did.
Okay.
So we were taught in our ASB and we were taught in our AP government class to like go stand up and speak for yourself. So
Yeah.
we went to the school board. I put on a tie and I told them 2 things. Number 1, the library had been closed for 2 years,
What?
and so I was complaining. They kept saying they were going to
Oh my
remodel
God.
it, and they never did.
Oh my.
So
and
they
then
still haven't remodeled it.
They've been talking for 20 years about making it 2 stories, having a 2-story library.
That'd be crazy.
It'd be nice. You
That'd
have
be really
a big
cool.
computer lab.
Oh my
and-
god.
Yeah, it would have
Roblox.
places to study even.
Oh.
And play games, I mean.
Yeah.
So I went to the school board and let them know, and they seemed to say they didn't know that was happening, and then they changed it. So
Wait. So
if you have a
Okay,
bathroom
like-
door when you go to the bathroom,
I have
you're
to.
welcome.
I have to ask. Okay. So this happened in the guys' A building restroom.
Like basically all the boys'
the
restrooms.
toilets or the urinals.
Well, the
Do the urinals? That's the thing. Like,
my dear, the urinals do not have doors.
okay, but like,
Ever. So they're when you go to
I
the
don't-
bathroom to sit down, there's a door you close.
yeah.
Those
That's
were
customary.
removed, and
But why? Like, did people not
So
use the restroom?
They said the reason it was very awkward. If you had to go to the bathroom really badly, people were looking at you or making fun of you, and it was really
Oh my
humiliating.
god.
So the people at the school board said they didn't know, but then they said, well, the reason is
I'm
because.
sorry.
Well, here's the irony.
Okay.
The reason they didn't have the doors is because they said people will smoke, and that's what we
Yeah.
see.
Smoke, like-
they will smoke back then cigarettes.
Yeah, I was like,
So
cigarettes smell though. You can.
now that there
smell
are
it.
doors, we see that happening. It's an issue that we're trying to fix.
They're gonna get rid of the doors again.
No, I don't think that. Get rid of
That was so extreme.
Don't give them any ideas.
So we heard you're from another country. Where are you from?
I was born in Canada.
Good old Canada. Hey,
Yes.
do you still have that
Hey.
accent? Hey.
Sometimes people will make fun of things, and I don't know exactly what it is. But I'll say tomorrow.
don't
I
make
don't know
fun
how to
of
say tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Every now and then I'll just say
The
it without
homework is
thinking,
due
and someone will
tomorrow.
giggle and say, "Oh, you said it the Canadian way."
Do you say thank you a lot and
Thank
like
you.
apologize all the
I
time?
don't think I apologize a lot. My mom, when she first moved here at work, they would make fun of her for saying garage wrong, garage, or she said garage or garage. Garage. So we, in Canada, they're known for saying a.
Yeah.
Hey.
And it's kind of like here we say, someone's the store, and then I saw my friend, And when I was visiting, when I came here and I was a teenager, I was visiting one of my cousins, and I'm talking with her, and she's like, I went to the store, eh? And then I saw my friend, eh? And then I went and bought some things, eh? And I'm like, is she messing with me? Like, do people really talk? I really thought she was kidding, but I guess I left
Were
when I
you
was
not
7,
Canadian
so I
enough?
didn't get it enough.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, like, when did you leave? What's the difference between Canada and the U.S. Like, aside from currency?
The thing is, so I grew up in a very small town, and it was like 15,000 people, and the next town was 20 minutes away. It wasn't like you walk to Whittier and you put your foot, you're in Montebello, and you're in another city at the same time. So it was very sheltered and very, very safe, not much to do. It was very boring. As I grew up and would visit, there wasn't even a movie theater, so there was really nothing to do. And there was this before your cell phones and the internet, so it was very simple, and there were horses and farms nearby, and
Very Canadian.
I liked it. I was always a very to myself person, loner type of person. But even though I was born in Canada, like my grandparents were all from Ukraine. So
You're Ukrainian?
they're Ukrainian, yeah. So I speak. My first language was Ukrainian with my grandparents. I'd
Say
speak it.
something in Ukraine.
Mm,
Say, I'm hermit in Ukraine.
I'm Kermit.
Yes.
Kermit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kermit.
No, maybe speak Ukraine, but in the Kermit voice.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Hey,
can do that.
say.
Добрий день, як ще маєш? Добре тебе бачити.
What'd you say?
Yeah. I said,
Watch
how
it.
are you? Good to see you. Yay.
That was good.
Can you do Yoda?
Very good we are. So that's when I was younger, I liked doing voices and things and accents, but it's kind of not as acceptable anymore to do accents from
Why
different
not?
countries.
Oh yeah.
Can you sing "Oh Canada"?
Did someone ask
Is
that?
that the
I left when
anthem?
we were learning. Yeah, oh Canada, we stand
in
on
the
guard
Kermit
for
in the
thee.
Kermit voice.
And I don't know the rest. Let me tell you, in second grade we had to sing that, and I just moved my mouth and let everybody else sing, and I didn't learn it. So what I was gonna say about my grandparents being Ukrainian is, even though I grew up in Canada, it was more like an old-fashioned Slavic Ukrainian values. So we didn't go to the movies. We weren't allowed to go to the movies. They were super strict. They
I
thought
thought
the
there
movies were
wasn't
evil
any-
or wrong, and you shouldn't go to the movies. We weren't allowed to dance. So
No dance.
no, they
what?
had very old-fashioned strict rules.
Like, what would you
based
do when
on-
you listen to music? Tap your foot?
Yeah, I mean so my grandparents themselves part of it was the religion. So they're very religious and are very old-fashioned in their religion. So my grandparents, before they were religious, they would go and they would play music. My grandpa played all these different instruments, the accordion, the trumpet, and they would sing and they would dance and stuff. But they were taught that it wasn't appropriate to do, I guess, when they became a part of a religion. So my grandfather,
What's religion were they in?
they were Christian and a certain, I think Pentecostal, you would say. It's a certain type of Christian that's very strict. But again, it depends what countries. So certain countries might have a little bit more old-fashioned, whereas the Pentecostal in America might not be as old-fashioned. my grandparents themselves have like a really interesting story because my grandma spoke 7 languages. So she was born in Ukraine, but then was sent to France, and then the war started. She never saw her parents again. Then she went to Germany, and then after World War II, she was in Germany and met
She
my
gotta
grandpa.
get out of there.
Well, what happened was, as soon as the war ended, my grandpa's mom said, "We got to get to the west. We got to get to the west." So they went to Germany to the west side, and that was the American side. And they did it just in time before they closed it off, and it became West Berlin and East Berlin and West Germany or the Russian side and the American side. So they got to the American side, and my grandparents hadn't had my mom yet. They were living in a refugee camp, so there's like a auditorium with cots, like 3,000 or 4,000 people. So they were waiting to get out of that country. So for over 2 years, they waited. My mom was born in a refugee camp, and so they finally were allowed to leave. And half the family went to Australia, half the family went to my mom went to
Australia.
Venezuela. They went to Venezuela. Yeah, good day, mate. Mr. Fraser, if you pretend to have an Australian accent, Mr. Fraser would get really upset. He's like, I'm not,
Why?
I'm not
Really?
Australian, I'm
What?
British. I would joke with him and say, put another shrimp on the barbie. It's an old,
Oh my
that's
God.
the Australian
I've
accent.
never heard a
Thank you.
British accent before, like a true.
And there's different kinds of British accent too. There's hello everybody. And it's maybe a little bit sophisticated. Then there's what they call a Cockney accent. Hi everybody, how's it going today? So they have different variations of the English accent. But anyway, my parents lived in a lot of different places. So my mom was born in Germany in a refugee camp, but then moved to Venezuela for several years.
Yep.
Then she moved to Canada.
How do you feel about AI now?
AI is interesting. So I really like learning stuff. So I'm really into any subject, and I get obsessed with something. And I was really into AI for a while. And when ChatGPT came out, I used it a lot at first, and then I don't think I want to use it.
I was there. I was there when you would tell me in the mornings.
Yep.
It was
Wait,
crazy how it works.
Dude, he would just like.
and
oh my God.
how quick it is, how quick it could answer your questions. But I don't like the idea of the more questions I'm asking it, the more it's learning about me. Because later on, I feel like you could turn that around and use it to manipulate people to sell products.
Has that happened to you? Where
No.
it's like, oh,
Not yet.
how'd you know?
Because
How'd you know about that?
ChatGPT is collecting information all the time. Just like the internet. When you go on your Instagram and your TikTok, they're keeping track of everything you do. If you liked it, if you zoomed in on it, if you screenshot it. So everything you look at and you like, they are keeping track, and a lot of it's to sell ads, right? A lot of technology, their money comes from selling ads to people. So they want to know how to get to you to sell ads, and they want to collect as much private information to get ads, and that they sell it too. So when you use certain media, like social media, a lot of them have written in there that your information can be sold to other parties, so then they can advertise to you. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to say that when you use AI, it actually says don't say anything personal. If it's too personal, you don't want it out there for AI to know and then the world to know. But it's interesting. It's interesting. When I first started teaching, I did science fiction when I was student teaching, and it's one of the things I hope to do again before I retire, because I love that idea of taking something like AI and saying what's the best that can happen and what's the worst, and writing a story. What's the worst thing that could happen with AI, or like the Google glasses. How's it going to turn out in a kind of good way? But then what's the worst thing that could happen? And that's the fun of science fiction, is exploring our technology and seeing like where's it going to take us? Where are we going to be in like 10 years? How are people going to be, or will it destroy us all? So that's fun fiction. Good movies and stories are written.
So, like in
that
a multiverse, you would become a science fiction author.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe when I retire, it'd be something fun. I used to write a lot. And one of the things I thought I was going to be in college was a writer. So I would do a lot of writing. I've written a book on my family and all the things they went through
You
to
have a
get
book
here.
about your family. Have you published it?
It's not published. It's something I recorded it, and I don't like the way it sounds
Oh.
because I recorded during COVID the audio of it,
Uh huh.
because I was trying to
Oh,
read
yeah.
and change things at the same time, which you should do. You have to edit and be aware of what you're going to say. And so I have it all typed out in the transcript. I just need to edit it and re-record it. But it's my grandparents, I feel like they went through so much. And up until I was 16, I didn't know about their story. Our whole family didn't. And my grandpa at one point was in a Nazi camp, a forced labor camp. not the concentration camp where all the Jews were sent, but other people who were dissidents or who had gotten into trouble. They'd put you in these camps, and he had to break rocks down into smaller rocks, and they starved him to death. He almost died. And when I was 16, I learned that, and it really changed my life in a sense that I started to realize when I was 16, I was complaining of going to school, and why do I have to be here? This is boring. This sucks. When my grandpa was 16,
Because you had no bathroom stalls,
yeah,
dude.
that does suck. But when my grandpa was 16, he was trying not to die. He almost died. He was trying not to die. He went into a coma. He was less than 100 pounds. And it made me realize, like, we have something special here. In America, we have the chance to go be something. We have the opportunity not just to live and have a good life, but we can go be something and do something with our lives. And we have opportunities that other people in other parts of the world don't. That just changed me. It made me just want to take advantage of my education, appreciate it. So I started to just care about school after 10th grade.
Speaking of shows, what was your first concert?
My first concert was Bad Religion. My brother, I think, took me when I was in high school. Bad Religion's a punk band.
Yeah.
And so they were one of my favorite bands. Them, Pearl Jam. I think a lot of my students, their parents listened to some of the same music. Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins was around my high school years. So, when I was in high school, the idea of going to a concert, a crowd of people was to me cringy. Like, I couldn't understand, why do you want to go be around that many people? I was so shy and uncomfortable. It was really, really, really uncomfortable to think of. And so then my brother took me to see Bad Religion. I really liked the music. And then when I was a senior, I told my parents I was going to preview day, and I went to the Vans Warped Tour in San Diego. But I did go to the college, so I didn't lie completely. And so I saw a bunch of punk bands. I think that started to slowly get me more used to it. And then somewhere in my mid-20s, I just started loving going to shows. Like, I saw U2, I saw Maná, I saw Enrique Iglesias, Social Distortion, Pearl Jam, Foo Fighters.
Food?
I mean, there's just
Food. Sorry.
Fighters. Here's a fun fact.
I like them.
Do you know who the drummer of Nirvana was?
No.
Bro.
Dude, I
He's
don't
the
know
lead singer of the Foo
names. I
Fighters.
don't know names.
What are the origins of your famous Toy Story hat?
No.
Or Kermit hat?
Kermit the Frog.
Kermit. I told him. I was
Lost
telling
in
him, I was
translation, I read it in the original
it's
Dutch.
Kermit. It's Kermit.
It's an actual Disney hat, but I was taking my niece to UC San Diego to visit the school when she was a senior, and she had a hat like that, and I wanted it, and I told her, "Hey, get me that for Christmas," and she didn't. So I went on like
She was
eBay and bought it. So I had to buy it myself.
Good for you. Good for
And
you.
it keeps me warm, and it kind of, I think when I'm out there taking pictures, it helps people to just find me if they need me. It's like a big red hat.
What about, do you have any future plans for your YouTube channel?
I don't know. So I started recording videos during COVID to make lessons for math, and I wasn't all crazy about circles and stuff until
Everything's a
a
circle.
couple of years ago. So teaching geometry, I started to just see patterns everywhere. You see patterns in nature, and you see patterns in your food and fruit, and you just see all these patterns everywhere. So I started to use the compass a lot because of Common Core. And what's interesting to me is that the reason my YouTube channel is called The Circle Made Everything is because that compass makes a circle in pieces of circles. And everything that we ever designed before, we used that compass. Before computers, we designed cathedrals and boats and planes. We navigated the oceans. We made most things using a compass. So using circles, we made everything. So that's the reason I had that name. But also symbolically, the circle, right, is unity and the universe, the circle of life. So in a way, like the symbol of the circle used to represent God. You put a ring on when you get married and stuff like that. And so the circle made everything is like a play on words for that too. Like some creator made everything. And so the compass is a creator's tool. It helps you to make everything. So I started to make designs and stuff, more paintings and drawings with the compass, not just lessons for math. And it's grown a little bit. It has like 1,700 people on it following. Hopefully I can keep designing stuff. I don't know. Like one of the things, I kind of want to do little like videos of my thoughts. Like one of the thoughts I want to record is time management. We always talk about time management. You need to learn time management. And I was telling my students, time management isn't real.
Is it?
Can you speed up time?
Dude.
Can
You're telling
can you slow
okay.
down time?
As a
No.
teacher, it's probably the worst thing to hear that time management is not a real
but
thing.
here's the
Like, I don't.
Do you have 24 hours in a day?
Yeah.
Do you have 24 hours? Nobody has more, right?
No.
Nobody has
No.
less. Nobody could speed it up. Nobody could slow it down. So I try to tell my students, like, there's no such thing as time management. It's self-management. You learn to control yourself. You
Oh
learn to
my
manage
God.
yourself.
I guess you're
And
not wrong.
If you learn to manage yourself, you get to manage your future. If you don't learn to manage yourself, control yourself and manage yourself, your future controls you. And little stuff like that, I think, are good little life lessons. So all these little things we do, that being on time, doing what you're told, putting your phone away when you're told, those little things add up. You're learning to control yourself. And I also feel like you're learning to listen. When you learn to listen to others, you learn to listen to yourself. If you learn to take orders from others, you learn to take orders from yourself. One day you're going to, all right, you're going to be adults with money and free time. If you don't learn to listen to yourself, you're not going to listen to your plans and what you want to do in life. If you want to wake up and go work out and get ripped, you're not going to do it if you don't listen to yourself. So I feel like those little lessons are important, and we don't realize some of the little things we do in school. They're to teach you to work hard, but also to control yourself and manage yourself. So you can go do whatever you want and enjoy your life and have a good life and do fun stuff. It's a weird oxymoron because it makes it seem, or a paradox. It makes it seem like controlling yourself would make you boring and dull. But if you learn to control yourself, you can go do fun things and have way more opportunities to enjoy your life. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do a
So the
separate
circle
channel.
made everything.
So Circle made everything.
That's your daily quote.
Circle made everything.
How do you? Oh, you know that whiteboard outside your
Little quotes. I like collecting quotes, and I
Okay.
always have.
How do you like decide like what you want to bring?
A lot of
to
it's just
write
an
on a
idea will
whiteboard?
come to me, or a topic, like right, Valentine's Day is on love. So I'll just go to I probably have thousands of quotes on my notepad on my phone. So I'll search the word love, find some.
Okay.
Half the time I make up a quote.
Oh, hello.
Half the time I make it up. Half the time I'll find a topic, or it's something somebody's talking about, or I'll ask every now and then ask a student, hey, do you have a quote for today? When I taught Avid, we would do little quote cards, and I'd put them on the wall. So I have some that I saved the quotes. I wrote those down too. So I've always collected lyrics. When I was in high school, I loved listening to music to actually look at the
Foo
lyrics
Fighters.
and learn the actual words of the lyrics.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go into silly section. So this is where we get a little outlandish. So our first one here is: would you say gnomes are real?
What did the gangster gnome say to the other gangster gnome?
What's up, gnomey?
You don't know
No,
me.
wait. Why
You
do you
don't
get
know
it?
me. Fool.
You know.
What's up, Nomi?
Oh my
So
god.
it may be time
That's
for a
pretty
dad joke.
good.
Why? This is what Mr. Fraser said. Why was the tomato embarrassed?
Cause.
Because it saw the salad dressing.
Oh.
Yeah.
And see, sometimes you start to see ones that are related. Why was the octopus embarrassed?
Oh.
Because it saw the ocean's
Yeah. Oh god.
bottom. And I think Mr. Fraser also said this one. Speaking of ocean, see the jokes start to have themes. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
R.
Most people think R, but it's really the C.
Boo!
Ocean, sea.
Oh my god, that was really cringy.
Wait, I don't get it. No, god damn
And
it.
that's the point. Mr. Fraser shared some very powerful advice as a new teacher. He said, John, the reason I tell these jokes is not for
I
the
forget your
students.
name is John.
It's not for students. It's for us to laugh and get through the day. Teachers need to laugh more, and we need to get through the day. So if you want to do something to make your teacher give you less homework, go bring them some jokes. Some clean and appropriate jokes.
Oh.
Would you rather be a samurai, cowboy, or a ninja?
I was going to say, how is a samurai and a ninja that different?
They're
How about
different.
a cowboy ninja?
There you go.
Howdy.
How would you like come across that? Like, I'm thinking like logistical.
Look, I'm sure there's already
Like
a movie of a
samurai.
cowboy ninja out there.
Probably there's Cowboy Bebop.
Are you gonna get the King Kong burger?
The King Kong burger.
Where you
Where is it
get
even
that?
being sold?
They're gonna sell it in Mexico. It's basically a double cheeseburger
Ew.
in promotion for the new Godzilla vs King Kong movie.
But who's selling it?
Carl's Jr.
Oh, Carl's Jr.
John, you're right.
I haven't
There
been to
is
Carl's Jr. in a
there
long
is a
time.
movie during the 1993.
Thank you, Miss Cuevas.
You're welcome.
See,
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Do I believe in Bigfoot? I believe there might have been something like a Bigfoot before. When you look at all the different cultures, they all kind of, like someone was saying, whether it's true or not, someone was saying online that in a lot of different Native American tribes, they have different words for the Bigfoot. And they're like, well, all these other words they have are all real. Bigfoot or something like it maybe was real then.
I believe it.
I believe it was real, but I don't think it is anymore, or we would have gotten a really bad, grainy cell phone video of it.
how would you fare in a Whitney Houston Finish the Lyric competition?
And I will
Will
always love
always.
you is the only one I think I would know.
I thought you were gonna start singing.
No, and I.
No.
Do you think
In
you could
Kermit
sing
voice.
We Are the World by memory?
Is that a song? We Are the World by Memory.
No, We Are the Children.
No, I'm joking. No,
Yeah.
I cannot. I was a kid when they all sang that, and we thought it was such a big deal. All the artists.
It was,
together.
though. That's like some of the greatest artists of all time.
But did it really change the world?
No, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool.
Yes.
It was cool. We should redo it.
What was your Pokemon card policy?
No Pokemon cards.
No Pokemon.
You had a Pokemon card?
I did never had
God damn
Pokemon. So
it.
Pokemons are a little bit past my age. So when I started teaching, they were getting into Pokemon.
So what's your
mean-
policy for that?
Yeah, like for
Classrooms.
students.
Our age was Garbage Pail Kids. Now they made a little comeback.
Atom Bomb.
And my parents saw them and they were so disgusted by them. So I
Who was
think
your
they might have
favorite?
thrown them away.
God.
They're pretty gross.
That's the whole point, though, right?
Yeah,
I know,
like that's
but
like the whole point.
You grew up
They're
with the
supposed to be
internet. You're
ugly.
used to gross stuff.
Yeah.
Back then we didn't have anything gross.
They're
Did
like,
you
what
watch the movie?
No, I didn't know there was a movie.
Who was your favorite Garbage Pail Kid?
I don't know.
There's a movie?
I didn't even know there was a movie. I don't know.
The Alligator Kid, the Jock. No.
All I remember is the dude in diapers throwing up or something. I don't know.
Oh,
That's on American
gross.
Psycho.
I don't remember American Psycho.
That's on Green Eggs and Ham.
So let's get back to my childhood. I was not allowed to watch inappropriate movies. We weren't allowed to say stupid in my house.
Oh.
No, American
So if I
Psycho's
saw
already-
American Psycho, I saw the on TV version with anything bad edited out versions.
Hey, I'm
But
gonna
it-
see that.
It was like in the 2000s, though. Right?
Yeah.
Well, that was a remake, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, what American
Is that the one
Psycho you-
with the knife? No.
No,
That's
we're
Halloween.
talking about.
Oh,
I'm
Halloween.
thinking.
So that's another fun
Hatchet
fact.
Bateman.
I've never been into scary movies. I don't know if I was traumatized when I was younger or what, but like now I watch them, I'm like, that's not real.
Speaking of the internet, which animal has the silliest memes?
I don't do pop culture. I'm not cool.
All right.
Have you ever stayed at Caesar's Palace?
Caesar's Palace.
I
Is
have.
what?
I think when I stayed
really?
there, if I remember, they had like lions downstairs.
What's Caesar's Palace? See.
Did the lion wake up? Like, did
Don't
you wake
know
up
who
with the lion?
Julius Caesar is? It was through a glass.
What? Did you ever wake up with a lion in your bathroom? And if you did, what would you do?
Breathe very slowly
and
try to act natural.
Oh.
and be like, "What's up?" and then back away slowly.
What about werewolves? That's on the werewolves.
Teen Wolf was a great movie.
Have you
I agree.
Do you like Twilight?
I'm sorry that was a little cheesy for me.
Oh.
Oh, the guy wearing the
Sorry,
flamingo
everybody.
shirt.
I
thinks
agree.
Twilight
Like-
is
like,
cheesy.
Oh my god, I'm in love with a vampire.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no.
Let her be.
And but I'm not sure. I like the werewolf too. Who can I decide to love more?
It's really tough. It's a really tough
Ooh.
question.
I didn't really give it a fair shot. I didn't read it, but then there was like on HBO the other little vampire series that was a little bit True Blood.
Mm.
I did
I've
watch
never
True
watched
Blood.
that. I never watched
True
that.
Blood was good, but it's. I'm glad you didn't watch it. It's rated R.
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Do you like giraffes as an animal?
I fed a giraffe once.
Hello.
They're
When?
interesting. Have you seen a giraffe fight?
How would they fight?
They
Yeah.
whip their head at each other and they poke each other with
That's
with their
funny.
horns.
Try not to headbang challenge.
So they're
They're
like,
really
they're
they
heavy
love going to
metal.
heavy metal shows.
They're heavy metal.
I saw them at Bad Religion and it didn't make sense because that was a punk show, but yeah.
Are you gonna play in this year's faculty senior? What's
I don't
that
know,
thing?
basketball game?
Seniors versus faculty.
Okay, yeah.
Bruh.
If I did, I'd have to like exercise to get ready because one time
You're ripped.
a teacher was playing in it.
It's
and,
just
well, even recently he got hurt.
self-management. It's just
Mr.
self-management.
Rodriguez got hurt.
So
And
Which
then
one?
Years ago, another teacher, like his Achilles tendon blew, and it scared me. Because like us old people, we start playing with you. We're like, oh, we're just gonna mess around, and we get all serious and competitive, and we want to pretend that we're young, and we're not, and our body breaks.
I think that would be me in the future.
So I don't know, maybe next year.
Have you seen Miss Rios play? She just tumbled down a student.
No way.
Miss Rios and I used to play basketball when I first came from Canada in 3rd grade.
Ayo.
Oh, you've known her since you were a
would
kid?
You
hoop-
known her
she
since
would
she was a
hoop me
kid?
up. She was so
Oh,
good.
oh.
She had a hook shot.
No way.
She was awesome.
How'd you meet her?
She's still awesome. I think she was in my class. The way every 3rd grader meets each other. Well, we were at a restaurant, and I walked over and talked to her.
Oh, really?
Isn't it weird that you're working with someone you've known since you were in 3rd grade? Like,
There might be more. Like there were some teachers that we went to high school together. Ms. Rigo, who's at another school now. Miss Lozano. I know there's several of them. There's a lot of teachers who graduated from here. So Miss Tirano or Miss Mayer. So
Damn, very emotional.
We're going to go into mailbag. Mailbag is a section where our viewers can submit questions to our guest. So we're going to go into those. So our first one here is from Amelia. She says, what do you think about Sure?
hello?
no, I don't have a problem with Sure. I know now that I'm old, my friends' kids go to Sure. So I feel like in sports, your competitors make you better. You need a rival. It brings the best out of you. If you go run and play football by yourself, you'll never get good. So Sure is good. Their scores are a bit higher, but I think if we really, really put our minds down and we're more dedicated, our scores would be as good. I think we're just as talented as they are.
Do you have a favorite student? Asterisk, Jesse.
Jesse who?
Jesse,
I don't
the
know
one
any
that we
Jessies.
know?
I don't know any Jessies. What are you talking about? It's like sometimes my classes will be like, who's your favorite period? And I think like 15 years ago, I might have said once, like 3rd, and then for the next week, like everybody's, oh, you like them better, you like them better, you don't like us. So I've learned you don't say who's your favorite. Like, I feel like sometimes you have like your parents, it feels like someone, oh, this kid's my parent's favorite, or my sister's my parent's favorite. I think it's more like they relate more. They have more in common, or they're more like each other. So there's students I relate to more, and there's students who I don't relate to, and I care about them all, but I wouldn't want to say and hurt anybody's feelings. But Jesse, you're awesome.
Agent Mouse wants to know, how do you maintain positive energy every day?
It wasn't easy. I had to learn how to be more positive. Like I said, sometimes things were tough growing up, and I'm a weird, different person. Like I didn't know how to smile when I started teaching. Like it was
Wait, what?
It was unusual for me to be like hi. Like I didn't do that, and I think a lot of teachers may have thought I was like rude and stuck up or mean. They used to say I was mean. Because out of the classroom, I didn't feel comfortable. And so it was hard to like smile, wave to people. In the classroom, I feel more comfortable. I feel comfortable with my students and being myself more, so I'm able to be more positive. I think, like I said, the reason I try to be positive is my job is to uplift you a bit and to help you, even if it's a boring subject sometimes. It's not the most interesting. Sometimes it is. But I don't know.
Challenge your students.
Being positive is a choice in some circumstances. And I think we all deserve to be happy, and we should be happy. And I think it spreads positive energy. You feel it when someone's in the room and they want to be there versus someone in the room, like when you came to class and you didn't want to be there.
Whoa.
Oh,
Wait, what?
Hey,
Just kidding,
Hey,
just
So,
kidding.
Hey.
wait.
Oh, it's because. Okay.
It was like 6 in the morning.
Yeah, it was 6 in the morning. Okay. I'm supposed to be there
I have weird
bright
thoughts
and
and
early.
ideas now. I feel like even your thoughts matter. Like when you think about someone negatively, it affects them.
Yep.
And I think if you're thinking positively, it affects them. So I don't know. I think I try to make it a point to be positive, even if you're having a bad day. It's like when you have kids. Like the kids deserve it. We're gonna go and gonna have a good day or a good vacation. They deserve it, even if the parents may be fighting or something. You guys deserve it. You deserve to have positivity, even more than I have. I don't have enough.
Oh, my
Okay.
bad.
Our next one here is from Drewski. He wants to know, what's the recipe for your mom's cookies?
Me too. Me
Leak
too.
it.
Actually, let me write this down.
My mom is a really, really good person, and she doesn't know you guys, and she still cares about you. And even though she has bad arthritis and she's in pain, every year, the last several years, she makes like 200 cookies for all my students. And she makes all these different kinds, peanut butter. We don't do peanut butter anymore because of allergies. But the main cookies was my grandma's recipe. She has
from
this
Ukraine.
Yeah, well, my grandma, like I said, she lived in all these different countries. I don't know where.
I don't know how she kept that
France,
recipe.
Germany, Ukraine. So those are like the white sugar cookies. And so when I have those, they remind me of when I was little. And I would go to my grandma's. She gave me cookies and hot cocoa. So yeah, no. If you really want the recipe, if you come to F10,
I was ready to write it down.
I'll ask my mom for the recipe. I'm sure she'll share it.
Yep.
Someone named him wants to know what
What
got
are
you
these
into
usernames?
photography.
One of my friends got a camera, and he got a really expensive camera because he had a better job, and so I bought a really, really, really cheap camera. And I said, if I could get good at this, I'm going to buy a better one. So I started taking pictures here and there, but what really got me better at photography, two things. Number one, you don't like it, the circle made everything. Geometry. Geometry, you're always, especially when you're making geometry stuff, you're always looking at patterns and balance, and you can see where things are even and where things they just look right. So you just get a feel for what looks right. But as far as getting really good was doing it for you guys. When doing pictures for sports, for any special events that I can, because the more you take, you just get better and you learn how your camera works through just practicing. When I was a student, we had cameras with film, and it was like $1 every photo, so you didn't waste. And my parents were never able to go to my sporting events, but parents from other students, they took pictures, and it's the only reason I have memories of me playing basketball or running. Mainly some running.
Oh, no wonder
So
you're
that's
super
why I want to do
adamant
it. But that's why I want to do it for you guys, even though everyone has a phone with a camera. Because parents did it for me, it's a way for me to show you guys, give you a memory like I was given, and show you guys you're appreciated and that we value and care about you. So to me, it's like doing what others did for me. But it made me better just by volunteering to take pictures. The more you take, the better you get.
What are your views on philosophy from Kevin?
What kind of philosophy? So last year I got really into like some Greek philosophy, Stoicism. Like I said, I like learning stuff. When I was in college, I got really heavy into psychology and into Buddhism. And last year I got into some Greek philosophy, Stoicism it's called, one of the Greek philosophies. And Stoicism is like looking at your life, to me, in a very positive way, and trying to make decisions where you stop and maybe ask, can I control this or not control this? And if I can do something about it, I'm going to go do it. If not, I'm not going to worry, and because I'm a person who worries a lot. And so there's a lot of different philosophies. I take philosophies from every culture. I've read the Bible of I've read the Muslim Bible, the Quran, the Christian Bible, the Hindu Bible. So I like philosophy, and I like religion, which in some ways is a philosophy. I think trying to learn anything to be a better person and to understand, like, where are we, where do we come from, and how do you live a good life, and how do you be happy? I think I know I had stuff growing up that was difficult, but I also just don't feel like I was a very happy person when I was younger. Like, even as a little kid, my family would always say, like, smile, smile, you never smile. So I have always been on this quest to, like, find how to be happy, and, like, how do you have a positive attitude, and how do you, like, enjoy life? So I do like reading any kind of, so just before I came in, a student came up to me and was telling me, he would always share philosophies, but he was sharing something about geometry and how you could take these certain things. So I love when students come up with a philosophy or start to share what they've learned about a certain philosophy. So the word philosophy means, philo means love, loving of things, and Sophia means wisdom. So philosophy means you just love learning stuff. You love knowing how things work and loving how to learn stuff. But yeah, no, I'm open to any philosophy and learning about it. It's fun. One of our teacher's aides, he was a philosophy major, so we talk all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Goals for future/retirement from Christian.
You know, I like taking pictures, so I'd like to get good at maybe taking pictures, but oddly, when I was younger in high school, I was starting to think about being like a missionary. Like, go help people in poor countries, or go help feed people, or teach them about the religion that I believe in.
Yeah.
And then I actually got in a car accident and just stopped thinking about it for some reason. I don't know why.
When?
I totaled my car when I was like a senior or a junior. I looked at someone and said something to them and then smacked the car and totaled it. And I don't know what happened in that was so traumatic that I just didn't have that goal anymore. But I could see myself when I retiring wanting to go, like right now, my family, like I said, came from Ukraine. Maybe going back to Ukraine to help rebuild or help teach at a school. For me, religion is like a little bit of everything. It's not just teaching about a God that you believe in. I think it's about helping people in any way you can. For me, the reason I'm a teacher is I think education's everything. Education can change your life. It changed my life. It changed my brothers and sisters' life. And so I would want to educate people. I would want to help them get food and basic needs. And like I really, really, really care about my students. Sometimes I feel like maybe if I was a priest or a preacher, maybe they would trust more that we really care for them. Like I'm not out there to get something out of this. I'm here to help you have a good life and help you go in a good direction and help you see that you're talented and you can be somebody and your life matters. So I don't know, maybe one day before my dad passed away, he was actually randomly saying that when you're a missionary or no, when you're a chaplain, when you're a chaplain. So a chaplain is someone who during war will go and like pray for people before they go to war or if they're hurt and they're in the hospital. So I could see myself doing that. Growing up with my dad in the church, since kindergarten, I've gone to funerals. So I'm very comfortable around people who are sick or dying or families after they've lost a loved one. And I've had a lot of experiences with neighbors and people and relatives who passed away. So I wouldn't mind working with people who are dealing with those difficult things as well.
Well, that's all of our questions for today. Thank you so much for coming on the show,
Thank
mister.
you.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. It's great. It makes me proud to see you here and like doing like new things and learning about new things and how to do podcasts, interviewing people and learning about their lives. And I hope you all become like super famous one day and keep doing it. I think it's good, really good.
All right, guys. This was our last episode of season 1. So,
Ooh, I got to be on the last episode.
yep, season
Yeah.
finale.
Season 1 is over.
Yep. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Faculty Fusion, and make sure you stay tuned after the credits for a little surprise.
Okay, everybody. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. This is us signing off.
Bye.